All right, good morning. So today's one of those days where I'm making my new progression system. So it's like you have a map, you have buildings, you upgrade the buildings. Each of these buildings has a skill tree inside it, which upgrades your stats permanently. So like any progression system you're used to in one of these games. Except it's the theme is you're upgrading buildings. Simple enough. And I'm at one of those points where I've there's lots that I need to do to make it work, and I can kind of go in any direction. I could start drawing the buildings. I could start filling out the UIs for them. I could start pivot a bit and work on the maps. There's just a whole chunk of stuff to do, and as you can see, my to-do list has gotten quite big. And yeah, I could go in any direction. I kind of want to start like seeing it, but if you're familiar to this channel, you know I hate drawing, so I always put it off as much as I can. It feels like the better I get at programming, the more I end up having to draw because I'm faster at getting the stuff that I actually like to do done, which leaves me doing the stuff that I don't enjoy as much. But yeah, that's a good thing. It's a good problem to have. It's like, I finished with the programming too quickly and now I have to draw. Okay, so these are going to be buildings. This is a placeholder map piece. And so we would have story nodes, which I haven't started on yet. And then you could click on a building, like the human building, for example, and open a skill tree. Right? And then you've just got this nice big skill tree where you can see all the things that you can buy. And, it's a pretty basic skill tree. There's some dependencies, but essentially we're just like choosing which thing is the most important for us to upgrade. Each building has its own identity with like what it's upgrading, and it makes thematic sense. And I have actually finished... I've actually finished designing this. I say finished, what I mean is I've got a first draft. And I don't see any reason to sort of drastically change it. Players will know which things they want to upgrade. It's a mixture of strategy, but it's mainly about... It's partly strategy, but it's mainly about identity. So do I prefer an army that is made up of wizards and witches, or do I prefer an army that is like soldiers and archers or blacksmiths, or do I like having more re-rolls, stuff like that, and players will choose the thing that they want. And that player choice is pretty simple, but that's what makes games fun, isn't it? So what I need to do is take this, which I've made on Miro, and put it over in here in Unity. And I just need to make sure that these names match. So if we're in this scene, we go building panel, so we turn that on, and then depending on the building we've picked, we'll get a different one of these appearing. So for example, the barracks. And the items in the barracks need to be placed where I want them to place, and they need to be named the same as the one in the picture. I think before finishing barracks, I think what I should do is I should start on another building, just to kind of make sure that all works, like going between buildings. And I should actually make another base just to make sure. It's just little things like the starting points. A good tip that I have, having done this for a while, and certainly being the kind of person who doesn't necessarily go in, like spend ages planning, but everyone's different. The analogy I always use is it's like a puzzle, and you've got all of these pieces laid out on the board. I've got all of these directions I could go. Should I start drawing? Should I do this part? Should I do this part next? And I guess it's like, do something. It's kind of like that moment in, was it the Justice League film? It's not an amazing film, but there's a bit where the Flash is like, there's so many people to save, what do I do? Where do I start? And Batman says, like, start by just saving one of them, and then, you know, go from there. And it's kind of like that. It's like I've got so many, like, the bit of choice paralysis, a bit of and so I kind of come to the project and I'm like, what do I do? What do I do next? And I think the answer is something. That's the answer. So if we have, where do I keep my buildings? So where actually is that tree there? I should know, but it's Monday. Getting back to grips with the project. So that exists here. Bases, human base, buildings, barracks. So if we made another one called church, and if this was over here, and if this had, what else would it have? Why is the Y position there? Interesting. I would have thought, oh, okay, so yeah, that's a bit funky. So this is the kind of thing you notice as you start building out a bit. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's probably not the best format. What would probably be better is that either this was at a standardized 5 or if it was at 0. The camera, also I'd like the camera to be, yeah, let's just round that up a little bit. Oh, well, the XPOS is one thing, but 4? But what if it was 0, then it's suddenly in the thing, and then we've got the actual floor, which is at 0. So that's why the base is... But I would have thought... So I think it's a matter of the pivot. So if this is at 0, and then the sprite renderer, and I thought... Interesting. Because if... So I'm a bit confused now. So if this is 0, is it in fact 0? It is in fact 0. So why is this not? And this sprite, the pivot is at the bottom. So you would think that see, I don't understand. Why is that like that? Why is that like that? I would have thought if the pivot point of this sprite renderer is at the bottom, then it would have to be at 0. So this has confused the hell out of me. Is there something else? Is there another container? No, so that's 0, 0, 0. Buildings. There we go. So yeah, I am in fact a moron, as always. So bug fixing and things like that, it's a bit like being a detective trying to solve a murder mystery, except the murderer is always you. You just need to figure out motive and opportunity. Okay, so then this, and let's just change the sprite to the other tree, just, you know. And so I think the way, so again, coming back to this after a little weekend, I had a bit of a my son's birthday was yesterday. So it was a lot of prep for that and a lot of tidying up afterwards. And I had like 4 or 5 units of alcohol, which is a lot for me. And I had a good time and a lot of time in the sun. So I was, you know, a bit more tired than usual. Okay, so if we click on the church, see, there's a problem. I think I need to set up the building in the script somewhere. Building. So where's buildings? Okay, yeah, so we just need to add. And I think I want to do this in my proper way. Public static building equals barracks. Like basically, I started this project with AI, and what that likes to do is add the thing to the list, but I think it's actually better to make the so like it's, you know, we add the thing to the list and it doesn't actually exist up here, and I think it's better if it exists up here. So we say building barracks equals new building, and then down here we don't go add new building, we go barracks dot names equals that, and barracks dot descriptions equals that, and then that's all we have at the moment. We're going to have sprites and things like that, although I don't even know if that's necessary. We just need names and descriptions. It just needs to exist somewhere. And then we say all buildings dot add barracks, like that. And that's barracks, and I will bracket that out. That's just how I like to do it, so I can always collapse them easily, even though it's 3 lines. Consistency. People talk about best practices. I think whatever you do, just be consistent, so it's easy to sort of find whatever you're looking for. And then we would copy that. And I just wonder, because I'm still figuring out like the way I like to do this. Yeah, let's just carry on like this. So then we say church, we say barracks, and we change all that to church. And that's the wrong way around. Is that got a line there as well? No, okay, that's weird. Okay, and then so church. And a place of healing worship. And then, so that now exists. And then over here we've got church. So what should happen now is that when I click on church, we should get a church. Just while this is all happening, I've got a bit of a design conundrum with this. Is that, okay, so it seems that opening the church has opened the barracks. So I think that might be because, oh wait, no, barracks isn't on. So what's going on there? Why is the church opening the barracks? That's interesting. So okay, church is off. On. That's not right. It shouldn't be opening the barracks as skill tree. That's very odd. So when we open, so I think this is base manager, so where we handle all of this. Hit milestone. So we want open building. Babe, do you mind grabbing my phone for me?
Where is it, darling?
I think it's in the kitchen or somewhere.
Sure.
No rush.
Okay.
Church. Huh, that's odd. That's like Schrodinger's bug. Like when you examine it, it's not there anymore. Oh, I know what's happening. We're not closing the old one. Okay, so that's good to know. So open building. So we'll just close each of them. So for each transform trans in building panel trans.gameObject.set active false. And that should fix that. Okay. So far so good. I don't even feel like I need to test that. Like that's gonna work. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. So we can delete this. And now, what's the next thing? What's the next thing to do? That's what I'm talking about with the sort of slightly overwhelmed by having so many things that I have to do to make this work, not knowing where to start. So we have our barracks, we have our church. I mean, like I can start populating the barracks. So I'm just going to take this and move it over here so I can see it on my other screen. And let's just do the first couple. And what I will actually do is kind of copy paste about the place. So we go, where were we? Yeah, let's exit this. So all of them. And is that the same? 200. Yeah. Oh no, 150. So why did that all move up by one? Can I? And then, so that's one. Yeah, okay. Just to save myself having to move them all down individually. So we say barracks. No, we say church. Okay. And let's open that up so we can see it as we work with it. Building panel. And so as long as the names are correct, and then we'll take, as an example, attack speed. So where has that ended up? Should we take something? Should we take soldier? Okay. And actually what we want is, yeah, that's how heal will work in this one. So if we just rename this to heal, that's where it goes, and that's the right layout. So we just simply need to rename these. Okay, and I mean, I don't want to go all the way with that just yet, because I'm going to have a session where I just have to take what's here and just put it in the scene. I will have to do that at some point. So I guess, yeah, let's just, I'm confident it will work, but let's just test it out. Yeah, see, we found a little thing. What's this? It's because we haven't made those leafs yet. So if we have leafs, barracks, we would also want one that is church. So actually we should just copy and paste some of this, and then I can just empty the bits that I don't need. So we go barrack, church. Let's just grab this, find and replace, barracks, church. Oh, thank you. Okay. And then soldier, in this case, would become heal. And unlocks the heal, upgrades the heal. Yeah, that's fine. We can worry about descriptions later. Although if I'm going to be copying and pasting this, let's get it right. So in the case of the soldier, they do actually have different things on each one, and we can see it here. And I wonder if it makes sense to like write the description based on what the stats are. No, I think while it's a bit fiddly, like it ends up just being more complicated than it needs to be. We have to like make a thing that sets the name. I mean, would that be too hard to do? So we say adds if it's a stat, so we kind of interpret it in the same way that we interpret it in the same way that we do. Hold on a sec. That we actually apply the upgrade, and we use that to help make the name. So yeah, no, let's just write it manually. So it's like improves the damage of the soldier. Okay, yeah, so I'll just have it as upgrades, and then I'll write all of the things together, because they are going to be different in each case most of the time. So we say church, builds the church, upgrades the church, yeah, that's all easy. And heal requires the church, heal requires heal, yeah. So that's really straightforward. I mean, I guess what I've got is a lot of data entry to do, of actually just putting these things in. Why is church not grey anymore? Oh, they lose their colour. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll sort that out later. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what we expect. That's what we want. So we can upgrade the church, and then we get our building animation, and then we can get heal. And we don't have enough money for the next step, but our lines come on there, so yeah, we're doing good. Okay. And yeah, we can upgrade soldier, which means that once we get barracks, we can get soldier too. And obviously, there's a lot of UI to do here. So I need to think about that before I start fully populating these. Like, I should get the look of it right. Yeah, that's important to do first. So I would need to like really get this to a final version of what it should look like before I start copying and pasting and adding new parts. But I'm really, I kind of am in the mood for data entry, because it doesn't require very much of me. And I can sort of do it while putting on a podcast or something, or, you know, it's just kind of relaxing work. I already have all the information in Miro. I just need to translate that over. I wonder if I could use Miro's AI tools to actually write out a script that uses these things, that would be nice. Or if I could connect Miro to Unity and be like, hey, you see this? You see what I've done here? Could you just kind of carry on what I was doing? That would be nice. But yeah, I shouldn't fill these out yet. I should finalize the way that these look. We're already using prefab, so we can change the way all the buttons look at the drop of a hat. It's just that there could be some unexpected outcomes, like what if the button width or height changes and then they start overlapping each other? That would be a pain. So I'm gonna go back to map and be like, okay, open base and base, and we'll do the same thing here. We go public static base, and that's a working title. Humantown dot descriptions. And this can just be null for now, or do I want to actually start putting the sprites in? So that'd be the map sprite. Although that's kind of irrelevant here. Like, it's just going to be in the Unity file, so it's not like we need to go and get a picture of that base elsewhere. So I don't know if we need sprite actually. We just need the faction name so we know which faction to link it to. We need names and descriptions because, I mean, do we even need descriptions? It might come up somewhere, like in an encyclopedia, but actually, I think it's just the name that matters. Because descriptions I don't see coming up. Faction name is definitely needed. Sprite is probably not needed. Well, there's only 4 of them. So if I had to make changes, it wouldn't be that big a deal. So first let's do basis.clear. Even though I only expect this to happen once, I think it's basically free. And then we go all basis.add human town. And bracket that out so it's nice and tidy. I don't know if that's best practice, but it's how I like to do it. And then we'd need to, we might as well make all of them. So human town, green bean camp. Don't know if they should have better names. Graveyard, like Grave of the Ancients. I don't know, let's just call it Graveyard. That's where all the gravy gets made. And Demon Palace. Okay, and so let's set all those up. So we go 2, 3, 4. Let's just call it Orc Camp because we're moving away from the beans thing. I think Grave of the Ancients sounds good. It would be like a burial site for this great war that happened. So we need to figure out lore and stuff, but let's just stick to what we're doing. So human town becomes Orc Camp. Oh. Just going to put in, just because I don't expect it to actually come up. Apparently 2 coffees wasn't enough today to get my brain working properly. Never mind. So Demon Palace, Graveyard, and then we just need to set up the faction names. So this is green beans, and although that's going to change, it will just be very easy for me to do a find and replace throughout the whole project. Just need to make it consistent. And black beans and spicy beans. There we are. Okay, so that's all our bases set up in code. Very straightforward, very simple. I mean, it feels too simple. It feels like I must be missing something, but I think that's probably, if I can pat myself on the back a bit, I think that's just good coding, good setup. So good structure, good programming, whatever you want to call it, because it's really that simple. So those are our bases. We're gonna need the names and whatnot, especially to like keep. So yeah, actually a base should have another one which is unlocked or not. So a base should have a bool unlocked. I'm never sure whether to say locked or unlocked and make it true or false, but so then we go human town dot unlocked equals true, and the rest of them will be false by default, so you actually don't see them. And then so let's get on with that then, and we say when we open the map, and God, the map is so simple. It really is just. So let's have a look here. Let's go into the map scene. Okay. So we have. Okay, yeah. So we're going to need a transform, which would be our bases. Reset that and put our human town, and then these. Is it really just? Yeah, we've got to have this base container and box collider. So we just need to make our other ones of these, and again just kind of placing them randomly at the moment, but I'm guessing the human base would be like neatly at the west of the map. Although I think we're even going to be able to like zoom in and out on this map, so the placement doesn't really matter. So we have human town. I'm going to get rid of these. Human town, and as long as these names match, then it should work. Human town, graveyard, demon palace. So Demon Palace is like in the middle, near the bottom. I've kind of already visualized it in my head, but obviously it's all still kind of up in the air. I don't know. So the orc camp is like by the coast. They've come on boats, a bit like Vikings. And then the graveyard would be like, yeah, the graveyard's like at the bottom. So you have this kind of triangle with the Demon Palace gets spawned in the third act of the game, in the spot between them all, because they're benefiting from all the fighting. And so yeah, I mean, and again, like just based on the way I've built the code, as long as these names match, then it should just work. I click on one of them and it will take me to it. So we now have to have public transform bases transform. And then when we start, we go for each base, for each transform trans in basis transform. Building base equals trans this, let's make it b equals bases dot get base trans dot name. If b dot unlocked is equal to true, trans dot game object dot get component dot set active true. Simple as that. So what we should see now then is that the other three get switched off when we start, and in fact they should be switched off by default, and we're only setting them to true. We're only switching them on when they're on. And if I've gotten that wrong somehow, we'll find out when we actually start trying to play as the other factions. So let's give that a whirl. Which means that I'm not really getting the chance to test the other bases. Shall we just make Orc Camp unlocked? I mean, I'm just kind of putting stubs so I can get at least the... So I can feel confident that the sort of core of what I'm doing is working. Okay, yeah, so problems immediately. Yep. I always do that. That's a very common mistake that I make, where I set things up and I don't click and drag them to the right spot here. Do we need options canvas here? I don't think we do. I'm going to kill that. Okay, bases transform. And that should do it. Yep. Okay. And then what if we said that the orc base was unlocked? So let's do that. So we'll just say so what we should see is that the orc base is now visible. So we just have this result of if, however, we unlock the the orc camp, we'll have a result like it will be visible. Yeah, so there's the orc camp. Brilliant. And we'll sort of have this dotted line of like story missions going there. Although it might be more a case of like, here's a battle site, right? And you click the battle site and there'd be stories within there. We'll see. I probably should have figured that out already. But probably most people would figure that out before even starting production on the game. But, you know, I think I'm not most people. All right. So then what happens if we click on Orc Camp? So map, open base. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want to see that. Never mind. So, base manager, start, and here, yeah, so this was a cheat. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so here is where we set up base. So we've got our current faction. And then so we want to say like if we want to do like which faction have we got, and then open the base that has their faction. So, just thinking if this is the best way, but this, I don't know if this is the best way, but this will work. So for each, we want to just sort of say like, so here we are in base. So we've loaded the scene base. And we say we've got human base, and let's just say we've got orc base. Orc camp. Human town. And let's just really quickly, like, can I just make something obviously different? I think we can do. So we'll call this like the chief. I haven't started designing the orc skill tree yet. Chief 10, and let's just go with Chief 10 and Fight Pit. And let's just make these like something completely different. Green. Let's make a giant orcs. Oh, is it green? Green bean. Yeah, it's a mistake from earlier. So yeah, that can just be that one. And that one can be a different one. Just to visually see that it's different, so I can tell straight away that it's working. I guess we then need to make placeholder building. So this is all buildings, and we will do human town. We can just copy paste that and call this orc camp chief tent fight pit. Don't need to think too much of this because this is probably going to be deleted, just placeholder. I know I want a fight pit, but I think Chief Tent already sounds weird, like, don't know what we'd call it. Okay, so there's Orc Camp, Chief Tent, and so we don't need to populate them just yet. So it's just like before I start populating all of these things, I just want to make sure all the functionality works, because you never know what kind of random shit you're going to bump into that will cause you to, you know, and if I've already made like hundreds of different buttons for the, or even just the script, like hundreds of different buildings and bases, and it doesn't end up being that, then that would be annoying. Or like something fundamentally has to change about how I do them, then, you know, that would be annoying to do it for a lot of them. So just trying to feel out possible problems. So yeah, bases ends up switched off. The base manager needs to have public transform. Okay, so then when we open, so yes, we start this scene and we go I think we just need to switch the right one on. So we go base, current base, so this would be bases dot get base. No, I'm just thinking of the best way to grab the base. I mean, I don't know if I can do something like, I'm still figuring out how, like, the order of everything that Unity does, even after all this time. But it's like, so we go map. I mean, there's a few ways we could do this. I'm just trying to think of the best one. So I'm not having trouble figuring out how to do this. I'm just thinking what's the best way to do this. Because we could say, yeah, base manager dot current base. So we need current base. There it is. I guess we could just make that a base. So base manager, current base, although we only need the name. Public static base, current base. Is the base. Wait, hold on. And base has a faction, right? Has a faction name. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's fine sitting there, and current base is that. So then when we start the scene, we go bases transform dot find current base dot names dot game object dot set active true. So that should turn on the base that we want. I believe that's that. I need to make sure so I didn't forget this time. And then we just turn on the base that we want. Ha! Nice. Building panel so what is the name of this building? I feel like I must have just... So in buildings, fight pit, yeah. That should have just been the fight pit. Let's try that again. Oh, I know what happened. So yeah, we're in canvas, building panel. So we just need to make sure that, yeah, there is no, yeah, so we just need to make chief tent, fight pit, and these things are empty. Oh no, we don't want any of these inside, we just want it to be empty because there are no buildings. And this should fix it. This should work now. Good stuff. All right. I mean, I can't call this not progress. This morning, I was, like, so much to do. But yeah, we click on the base that we want. Oh, I forgot that I'd set that up. And then we click on the building. Yeah, we don't want that one. Let's go back. Let's go back to the war camp. Let's click on the chief tent. There's the chief tent. There's the fight pit. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Things is working. Okay. So we have it set up so that we can have multiple bases and whatnot. There'll still be more to do with where do you actually unlock these things and so on and so on. But that, like, in principle, this works. Very, very basic stuff. Very, very basic stuff. Just sort of, it's like a website, you know? Just click the link, go to the place. Okay. So one of the things I can do is carry on with this and just start building out all of these. But yeah, I know I don't want to do that. But then when it comes to the leaves, I can start just basically populating this. It's going to be a big job. But basically I have designed all the leaves I want. I'm calling them leaves. It's like a vestigial name, because I haven't thought of a better name yet internally, but these are just the upgrades that you unlock. And I need to basically just put every single one of these into here, into this code. So we've got leaves, and let's go with, so we've got based on the building, but also based on the base or the faction. Okay, and this just exists because otherwise the game won't run. All right. So yeah, placeholder building, green bean base. So like our bases will work as we build out this content. So like the structure of this works. I just need to build out the content. I could look at game feel for navigating between these different things. Like, it would be nice if there was some kind of zoom as we enter and exit these buildings. I would love it if we had like little beans coming in and out of the buildings, like just hopping about doing stuff. That's going to be really cool. But obviously I'm not going to do that now. It's not crucial now. We could start on the UI, like making that look nice, although I need to like kind of overhaul the UI of the entire game, because I think it could be a lot better. Although it's not awful. I don't actually mind it too much. I think it's actually not bad. But there we have it. So one of the other things I can do before populating everything is start building out like the map icons, basically. So we would have mission 1. So in the map, I think I should start doing that. It seems to be coming to me to do that. So we want to be dealing with the map. And let's make bases. we would have another one called map, or what do we call them? Missions? Levels? Let's call them missions. And so this screen will end up being quite heavily populated, although you will be able to scroll around. But if we have missions, reset that. Let's just copy and paste one of these. Put it in there. Make the sprite a bush. And call this mission 1. And it's just right outside the human base. When you start the game, you actually, so the human town will not be unlocked by default. The human town will not be unlocked by default. You will have to do the first mission in order to unlock the human town. So the first mission is just, you'll get to this map and it's like, there's your mission, go click on it. Little tutorial saying click on a mission icon to start a mission. And there'll also be a play button at the bottom just to do quick play, where you can select any stage, select any heroes, like just basically it's like free play. You're not progressing the story. And so when we click on a mission, we don't want building container or base container, we want mission container. And if I just do this in the same way, then it should kind of work nicely. Yep, in my very tidy scripts folder. Base container, and I'm just going to copy base container. It was right next to it. And we're basically copying everything here. But it's public mission, which hasn't been defined yet. Collider map, mission, missions.get mission. And then if you hit it, then map.open mission. And then basically, if you so then I don't need to worry. So let's put these here. Let's put this here, and so we would have open or public void open mission. And then we do stuff. So that would take you to basically the character select screen with pre-made stuff. So that's more on my list of like stuff I have to do, is set up the character select screen to basically be told what the parameters are. So like you're at the character select screen, which is, wait, I can't show it right now because I need to make the code compile, but where you choose your character, the enemy character will be chosen for you, the hero character will either be set to a specific character or just one. And we can start to kind of build that out. So we are going to be needing a new script called missions, which will have everything that we need for missions. And this would exist. I think it would be best for this to exist in stuff. Yeah? Why can't I? Where is it? Missions. Is it because it hasn't compiled, so I can't find it? I think that's probably why. So missions, and I'm just going to very much copy from any one of these. I'll just take the whole thing and just change it as needed. Just so I don't have to actually engage my brain. Anything to avoid engaging my brain is good. So we want public class mission. Missions. List. Missions. And I'm not doing a find and replace, I'm just doing it manually so I don't make mistakes. Public list mission. New list mission. Public static mission. Mission 1 equals new mission. Start with 1 for now. All missions dot clear. And then, so mission's going to have quite a bit more information. So mission, so mission 1, and of course when you click on it, we're not going to want to like open it straight away. We're going to want a little bit of like it will open a panel which shows you information about the mission, and then there'll be a play button. And we need, yeah, this. Descriptions here is important. Sean changed the name. Oh, I came up with a name for the main character, Randar. It's fed up the orc invasion. It seeks to deal with it himself. And then what are the parameters of a mission? So I'm going to take a quick break for a smoke while I think about this, but I know that public character, no, it would be a list of characters. Character. How do I make a list? Oh, it's just like that, yeah. Characters. Yeah, friendly characters. Let's just call it, yeah, friendly. Or possible, what do we call it? It's the characters that you're allowed to play as for this mission. Usually just one, but can be more. Characters. Yeah, let's call it characters. Or character options. Public character enemy. Oh, yeah, let's just call this hero options. Enemy options. Enemy. So in mission 1, mission 1 dot hero options equals new list character, and that one character is characters get character Sean. I'm going to do something crazy right now. Sean Randar. I thought a lot about this. I was thinking of names that for the main character, and I like Randar. It fits. And we're going to end up with some errors over that. Like there's going to be some missing sprites and stuff. Okay. So hero options would be Randar, mission 1 dot villain up enemy equals characters, get character Cruel. Why am I doing it like that? Okay, and what else do we know about a mission? Like there'd be like a reward for it. Like, so first we definitely want public bool unlocked with mission 1 equals false. But mission 1 is unlocked. And then there'd be stuff like, what is the reward for doing this mission? What are the other parameters? Yeah, so that, of course it would have a stage. And it's not going to be a choice of stage, it's going to be a stage. So public stage, mission 1 dot stage equals stages. Get stage planes. Is it called green planes or planes? I don't know. That's why you should use. You should never use like strings for this. You should have it. Yeah, green planes. Okay. And actually, if I was doing things properly, I would be like, I would have like Cruel would be a character not added to the list immediately, but a static character that I can just say mission 1.enemy is characters. So it would look like this. Mission 1.enemy equals characters dot Cruel dot names. No, it'd just be characters dot Cruel. Like, I don't need to look for it by name. But, you know, maybe we'll refactor that at some point, maybe not, because it's not really necessary, but that would have made my life easier for sure. So I will, and that is how I did my last couple projects, and that's how I'm going to do the next projects after this. I was just, it's like, so I was doing like vibe coding. I was letting the AI tell me what to do, and I was kind of following it like a sort of Lego instructions, where if I start to deviate and say, hold on, no, that shouldn't be like that, let's do it a bit differently, then the whole thing will fall apart. Like if I'm making a Lego thing, I'm like, oh wait, no, this doesn't look good here, I'll change this, then that might affect the project later on. But actually, I think it's better to just do things my way. Maybe someone can tell me if that's wrong, but I like having each thing as like a public static thing. It doesn't have to be static, but static's easier, where we can just reference it. We're not just adding to the list and then constructing it while we add it to the list. We're constructing it and then we're adding it to the list. I think that's a better way to do it. Yeah, here we are. Let's work with what we have. Let's not start a whole new Factorio file. Let's work with the spaghetti that we have. Okay. Is it unlocked? Where is it? Who's the enemy? And then what are the rewards, I guess. Yeah, that's the only one I can think of. Oh, and we can have finished. So public bool finished. And this just means, and we don't need to add that each time. This just means that if it's finished, you can't get the reward again. And then we could have more things like special outcomes, but I don't think that's right for this game. Like, oh, can you do this mission with this set of parameters? And I think that's a bit, yeah, it's not really needed. So public int reward. And let's just say that's 10. And we'll just set that so that, you know, the paste bin is right. Okay, so these don't all need to be spaced out. Rewards. So yeah, name descriptions, the meat and the bones, I guess. So descriptions, meat and bones. Mission 1 dot reward equals 10. And then we get our bit, and so this description is going to be quite a bit more, like these are going to be quite long, because this is really where we're setting the stage. It's a bit of reading for the player to do, like what the hell is happening. There will be some kind of scene at the beginning before you see any of this, which basically explains like what is the setup, what's happening, you know, orcs are invading the land, you've had enough, go get them. It's basically that. So maybe a scene of like all the orcs coming over the hill, and then Randar standing there like, come on then, let's have it. And we get this little bit of flavor text, and you press play and you're in the scene and you're playing the game. So yeah, we're in this for the long haul. There's lots of work to do, but I want to make a good game. I don't just want to make a little one to dash out. I want to make a decent game. Okay. Is there anything else we would have in a mission? Heroes, enemies, stage, reward. And is it finished? Is it available? Name, description. All of that is necessary. Sprite. We could have a sprite. Like a picture to show what the mission is, but I don't really see that. And when you click on a mission, we go map.open mission and display info about the mission. That's what we're going to do. And so when you click on a mission, and so there's a bit of UI design to do here, but I am just looking for placeholder at the moment. I just want to get this shit working. What I would like to do is get everything working 100%, and then once everything's working and and basically just take off my programmer hat and my game designer hat and put them in the loft, put them in the cupboard, and then stick on my UI design and my drawing hat and sound effects hat and focus purely on that. But I do not like switching between those things. If anyone wants to work for me, come work on this game and do that kind of shit for me, that would be great. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting choice paralysis again. So we want to have a situation where we open, so we're in the map, and here's a mission 1, collider, map. Why is that like that? Map canvas. Yeah, what's wrong with this? Is it because we haven't compiled? Why can't I? Yeah. Oh, okay, so what's this then? Oh, that's actually the sprite. Okay. So Yeah, mission. Click on the mission. It opens the screen. So we would need a UI, and I'd like to copy it from somewhere. Maybe not. Mission panel, which should actually just be an empty. And I think the way to do this, I need to be more consistent in how I do this, but I think just to fully, like, this just covers the UI. Mission panel, create panel, and I've just always named this the same thing, but this is the actual part that switches on and off. And we have for now, just using the level up panel for everything, I think. And I don't think we want stretch, we just want yeah, like I mean, we're going to want to make full use of the space, right? But we're still kind of, I think having the background there just kind of lets the player know that we're still in the map. I've got a couple old developer friends. I'm gonna once I finish the whole thing, I'm just gonna consult with everyone I know and be like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Get some free design tips. Like, I'm not gonna ask for too much of their time. Not asking for a full written document. Just first thoughts, whatever time you have, and if they don't have the time, then never mind. So the mission panel, once again, the exit button is going to be used here just to exit. We have yeah, we'll have a bunch of information. Here's like a picture. I need to design this, so I'll probably design it in Miro first. So I'm going to go for a little smoke, and then we'll start designing that in Miro. I'll be right back. Okay, making some progress now. So, Miro. Did I lose my Miro page? No, there it is. Cool. Okay. So, a bit of UI design. Let's just copy this because I think this has got all the... This is a screen. So, we've got our back button. And then we're going to want a pan effect. Yeah, let's just delete all of this. For some reason, Miro isn't very good at handling like frames within frames. Okay. So, what is the name of the mission? And then, is there a space there? No? Okay. And then, what do we need to know? We need our play button, big fat chunky play button. Not that big fat and chunky. Okay, so it's still a wide button, just a bit smaller. Go bottom right. We'll see. So what do we need to know? We need to know the orcs. Do a bit of writing. So you see all the different hats I have to wear as a solo dev. The orcs are invading. And what's the name of our town? The orcs are invading human country. They ravaged the lands. Just speed writing now, just to kind of like just want to fill out this text box. They ravaged the lands. They are. Yeah, they are causing all kinds of havoc. The king is too weak to. The king is weak and indecisive, planning to pay them off, just like the Vikings, instead of. Yeah, the king is weak and decisive, planning to pay them off, instead of fighting our hero, Randar, Prince of the Realm. Yeah, heir to the throne. Is fed up and seeks to fight them himself. He charges head first into battle. Okay, yeah, and that's going to be like a scroll thing. Do we have, what's this? What's this button here? Can we just like scroll down? Never mind. Cool, so yeah, we can sort of see what that will look like. We can reshape that as we want. We can go and then I guess we would see like we would have little sprites for like hero options. So let's make another one of these. No, go away. Yeah. So yeah, we need to know what stage we're in. that'll be like a picture and a name. And that would probably come at the top left. So where are we? What's happening? And who are our heroes? I mean, maybe it's just that, because when you get into the mission, you'll see. I guess we'd have a little tick box. Have we done this mission yet? Have we done this mission yet? And do we need to see at this point who we're allowed to bring in this mission? So maybe this can go here. So this is a very simple. So we'd have a little tick box, is it complete or not? We have a little icon for the stage. So like the name plus the picture associated with the stage, which I haven't even started on things like that yet. And the flavor text, this is the storytelling. This is like your text scroll at the beginning of Star Wars, just an overview before we actually, so here's where we tell rather than show. And orcs are invading. And do we need to know who versus whom? Here? Where would we put that? Like, or is that implicit? Because there will be missions where you can choose different factions. Like, it's just a matter of like which character do you pick, and who's the villain. It could just be done in text form, like heroes. And then like a picture of Sean, and then villain option, and then the villain. The Orc Chieftain. Albion. The orcs are invading Albion. They are causing all kinds of havoc and they're doing bad stuff. We can't stop them because of this. Here's the solution. And then you press go. And then and so this is actually the old character select screen. So just while I'm here, I guess this is the next couple things I should be doing. So you press go on a mission, and then you get character select, which I think it should be the same. So we pick so we don't pick the faction anymore. This is redundant because that's going to just be set up. That's chosen by the character. And it will be clear which one you've picked. And it would be hero. And I kind of want it to be like a fighting game screen. So if we look at like Tekken character select screen, let's look at the latest one, Tekken 8. Yeah, here's a nice picture. God, what is Paul do? Is that Paul? It is. God. Paul, what are you doing, man? So, like, is that Aloy? Is that Siri? It is that Snake? What the? I haven't played Tekken 8. Wait. So you can play as Siri, you can play as... So that's Snake. I didn't know Snake was in Tekken. Is this real, or is this... And then you've got... I heard they're adding Yujiro Hanma, which is really exciting. Is that... I recognize that person. Isn't that Mass Effect? Who is that? Anyway. So it's like... versus... God, there's quite a lot of information here. So yeah, we're not interested in that. We're not interested in that. We're not interested in any of this. We just want to know who is your... So we have a big picture of the hero. Yeah, let's just kind of start this from scratch. So we have a big picture of the hero. I don't know if we need... Yeah, hero, and then it would be like... Oh, why did I envision it differently? So... And then you just can pick all of the characters that are available. So we would have something like that, and then another go button at the bottom, which I think is actually not that big. It's not as big as this. Mutations and whatnot. That's one. Difficulty, where it's optional. So like in story mode, that'll be like locked in. Mutations. So mutations would be like... I haven't actually set this up yet in game, but I would like that option. And I don't know how many you'd be allowed to pick, but it would probably... I think I set this up where it'd be like, yeah, you choose your mutations, and if you have more than 4, you just kind of get a plus menu. But where do you actually choose those? So here is where it would, like, you hover over and it shows all the other ones, and here's where you add one. I don't know. Like, we haven't got mutations set up yet, but let's say that there's a spot for mutations. Difficulty at the bottom right. Hero. And then stage would be like the background. So would it be like this, like... So yeah, we've got the mission. So then where would you select the stage? This ought to be a button. And it's basically when you're doing the story, like the things that are locked in will be locked. So you won't be able to pick the stage if you're doing it from the story. But if you're doing it outside the story, you should be able to pick the stage. So we've got the name of the stage. Because yeah, the stage would be at the top. And if you're doing a mission, you'll have this extra thing. So if you're not doing a mission, just won't be here. Or it would say free play. Yeah, okay. So Green Plains. So the stage is important, but at the top it would either say free play or mission 1. In the Green Plains. And then would we have a little button to change that? And I guess this would just be gone if it's that like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, because I think once I see it actually there, like, I can change things. But then hero be like a big picture with and it would be them with their unit behind them, so you can actually see, like, do we actually have to have that information there though? Like, you can always right click to see what they've got. Yeah, we would still have these. And then the enemy sort of doesn't matter. So it'd be like a big old picture of them. And then, like, yeah, why do I want it to look like a fighting game? I think people just recognize it, but I think it's just a fun sort of format. So instead of clicking on hero here and getting and then going to a menu where you pick the character, I think it would be more fun just to pick the character. So if we said, and we just had all their like little sprites, and I know there's going to be 16. It's the same problem Tekken has, where you have to, like, what if you wanted to add 10 characters to the game? Where would they go? You would have to just make this smaller and smaller. But we say hero let's just kind of color code them for faction. Yeah, it's kind of awkward, isn't it? Very free-form UI design that I'm doing here, but yeah, we can kind of organize them a bit by factions. Just have like a little bit of space in between. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I can move things around. I just want it to be somewhat like considered in the first draft. So then the go button can be at the bottom right. And then we would have like more heroes. just to like leave space for secret heroes and stuff. I like the sort of indentation. I mean, to be really like basic, you would just have it like that. And then we've got like secret heroes that you haven't unlocked yet. And I think it's fun, and it's a sort of cheeky bit of game design to basically make sure that rather than just having empty space, like we have little locked icons showing you all the heroes you haven't unlocked yet. I kind of want to see some symmetry here. Something like that, and then if we add more heroes and like secret characters, but like there's 16 main heroes at the moment, and then we're gonna I'm certainly thinking of having more like fun ones, and then if we want even more than that, we could just have a little arrow that takes you to like a different set of heroes, or we sort of say that yeah, let's put these main ones in the middle. And then we can have like potential other heroes like locked out either side, so you know. And then it's just, yeah, this is your hero select screen, so you pick your hero, the enemy is picked for you. Oh, what if we're playing free mode and you actually want to pick the enemy hero? I think if you're playing hero, so if you're playing free play, so here's the button that would take you to the stage select. If you're playing free play and you want to choose which enemy you're fighting against, like basically if it's single player, that will just be like locked out for you. I need to find out. Sorry about this. This does not work. But is Snake in Tekken? Okay, so this is like a fan-made thing, because that's insane. And Siri, like, yeah, I think this is fan-made. So where's the real one then? I just picked this one because it was the most shiny. Yeah, I mean, it's basically the same. You could have like the 4x4, but I like the idea of like, so we would have like the hero and their army like behind them, and the enemy and their army behind them, and in the case of the hero, so this would probably go on the left side then. Just showing you what your hero has, and the enemy it doesn't show you. So this would look like Sean, and then Corral would be highlighted as the enemy. And then, what if I wanted to select which enemy I'm going to fight? How would I go about doing that? Oh, there's the tilt there as well, which is nice, but I don't think we're doing that. How would I choose which enemy I'm going to fight? How would I go about that? Looks like Kim Kardashian or one of the Kardashians or something. How would I choose which enemy I'm going to fight? Like it could be a right click. It could be that if you're in free play, this button won't say go. It will say like select. It will say, well, yeah, it'll be go, and then it will just say like choose your enemy. So where do we say that? We want that information here. Green plains. So what if this is like... So this would actually say choose your hero. Which is starts to brush up against that a bit. But this doesn't need to be that big. Choose your hero. And you'd press go, and then that would say choose your enemy. But in story mode, it would just be the enemy's already picked for you. And then we've got loads of space for mutations and other stuff. And we don't have to worry about this like picking enemy faction thing. It depends on the hero. Heroes are locked to factions. Maybe. I mean, it might be fun to play as like Randar with an army of orcs beside them. But, yeah. And yeah, some games limit the... I mean, I just haven't built in a mutation system yet. So, you know, you would like click here and then it would open the menu for mutations. And for the story, they might be like locked in already. But yeah, I think that's an improvement on this design. I think so. This is better. Back button is always at the top left. That's like a staple for the game. We tell you which mission we're on. We just say choose your hero, so it's really clear what you're supposed to be doing. You choose the hero, and then they'll pop up here, and you can see their stuff. And then you press go when you're ready. We need to set this up because if we're doing the thing where shit, I haven't even done this part yet, but yeah, when you click here, it will take you to this screen, and it will take you in saying, we're not playing free play, we're playing a mission, and if it's a mission, then lock in the enemy hero, make it unselectable, lock in, de-highlight any of the heroes that aren't part of this mission. Select the first one, and by default, lock off the stage select button if it's a story mission, and so on. And I think difficulty, you might be able to change difficulty with the story missions. You'll just get more points for it. And what I expect is that when people are playing free play, they won't be doing it they won't be like replaying missions. They'll be just selecting free play. So on the map, that would probably be better as a node. So we'd have missions, and we would have one called free play. So let's add that to missions. Where did missions go? Here we go. Right there. We have a mission called free play. And so free play, and so these would not be set because we would do a special, rather than just having all characters included in free play, we would just and there's no reward. Unlocked as true, and play yeah, like play whatever you like. I don't know. Choose any hero, enemy, and stage. Okay. And would free play be like on the UI? Or would it actually be on the map? Let's just have it on the map for now. And let's just, I don't know, just put it there for now, just so it's there. Like, we'll tidy all this stuff up later. It does feel a bit like I'm just building a lot of stubs and not necessarily making a lot of progress. But, damn, it is progress. It's just getting this stuff in. So we're in the map. I can click on a mission and it will open the mission screen. So let's do this first bit of UI then. So we have the mission panel. And I'm just going to move this over to my second screen so I can see it. And we simply have, I kind of want to copy, just so I don't have to like set the fonts and everything every time. So like, yeah. I just want to get a bit of text. So then stage, and it's not a button, it would just be, so now I'm thinking stage should be like below. So I'm just, no, we've got the space in the top left, so let's use it. So we have mission, and then we would have stage. So while I'm here, while I'm there, let's just quickly grab the play button. Okay. So we actually had that in the design. That's at the and we really just placeholder, I don't know, 64. So this is really, really basic. It's not very pretty, but I think it kind of gets the job done. And so we do need a bit of information saying what stage are we doing. All missions, except for free play, would have a specific stage. Prince Randar. Okay, so then I think, because it's very basic, yeah, we'll have our little tick box of whether it's finished yet. Do we have a tick? Have I made a tick for this game yet? So we'd want a little, is it complete or not? I think just a little tick, like a little stamp. So what would we do? What would we call that? Yeah, so let's, if we put one inside it, it would be nested. So it would be complete tick. Do we have a tick? I'm sure we have a tick. We do. Okay. Well, let's just is it done or not? And again, just purely getting it functional at the moment. I know it's not too pretty, it's just a very boring tick, but and just feels a bit flat, doesn't it? But I think that's fine. Do we want to show where it's happening? Like maybe it would be. And then maybe there could be some kind of, because this is all just text, like maybe the background would be like for the mission. And then actually maybe we don't even like need all of this space. Like we can kind of keep the map open. I'm just thinking of it not like eating the whole screen, but instead, because we can actually just see where it is, right? Rather than having it, that kind of gives us less space to work with, but might actually be better, and then we can actually use the full height. And with this description, because then you can kind of still see where you are in the map, and I think that might be good. Just because there's really very little information needed here, so there's no point in like using up all that real estate, you know? And we still have the visual of like, so you'll click on the node and then the node will like fill up the map here, and that kind of tells you where you are. And then for the script, this rat text wrapping overflow. Will that make a scroll rect? Because that would be nice if it just did that. But it doesn't seem to be. It doesn't seem to be doing that. Okay, well let's. Is that better? So you click on the mission. Mission 1, Green Plains. So this comes up. And we can actually probably be much tidier with this. Like I'm, you know, we'll get there eventually, but really I'm not a UI designer. But we've actually probably got more space. Like it feels small to me, but it's probably fine. So I can actually, yeah, really sit 50, no 10. And then the height. Is the canvas set properly to like, yeah, it should be matched with screen height. So then in that case we would take mission panel, and this would be aligned to the right, but stretch, so it'd be 10, 10 and 10. And the width would be 500. And then if we're in 21 by 9, it still works. Although the scaling is wrong there. Seems to have like scaled up the text when we're in 21 by 9. You know what, I probably shouldn't worry too much about this just now. I just want to get just want to get it kind of like mostly right. So yeah, you click on the mission, you get the description, and the description should be stretch in all directions, and then overflow. So one of them means we don't need the stage here. Mission 1 descriptions. Come across to the top. And the tick. Okay, I don't want to get lost in the weeds here because again, just like putting on my UI design hat. But this works. You get a description, but you can still see the map, so it's not like we're sort of committing to an entirely new UI. And you press play to confirm it, but going to a town just takes you straight to the town. Or maybe not. Maybe clicking on the town will give up a similar thing here, just to kind of keep consistency. We'll see if that feels weird, because it might feel weird to open a town and not. It might feel weird that like clicking on this menu doesn't. Like clicking on a mission opens up a little UI, but clicking on a town doesn't. That might just feel awkward and clunky. I don't know. So this should be fairly straightforward to set up. So we have our mission pattern. I'm just going to keep it all in map rather than making a new script for mission panel. So we'll have. So we need to make. Just things so I can. So then we've got public. So we're going to need TM Pro. Public. Text /pro UGI. Header text. public button. Let's go with image. No, let's go with game objects. We're just going to be switching it on and off. Public game object. Complete tick. Play button, header text. And description text. And then as for what happens on the mission, that will just be like, we'll just do a check, like, are you playing a mission? If so, like in the GM will be like, are you playing this mission? Okay, if so, then do this. Play this cutscene, or have this, pause the game, have this dialogue play out, that kind of thing. Yeah, so we're going to need to settle that up. So mission panel, complete tick, header text, description text, play button. And then we need to test that. Well, actually, we need to code it first. So when you open mission, the mission panel is already a game object. Mission panel dot set active true. Okay, I'm gonna go for smoke and then I'll write this up. Be right back. I think it's been a productive morning so far. So we turn it on. I think complete is a better word than finished. Oh, for God's sake. And then we would like... Okay, I'm just going to test that before we're moving on. In your own time, machine. And it's going to change the name of the stream because this has been more about designing map and character select screens. Okay. Okay, so when we open mission, so mission container. And I think we just need to have this space here because we're looking for the mission name, not the, what do you call it, nice name or whatever it is. I think that's the general thing, but no, it's one. Mission. No? Okay, I didn't add it here because, so yeah, we need to go to stuff. Oh yeah, I tried doing this earlier, but and I don't know where that should be in the load order, but I think let's probably find that. No? So, getting a null mission. Why is there no mission? Ah, we haven't added it to the list. Yeah, that's the short one. Okay, progress. Progress. Sometimes it feels like I'm not making progress. I don't know why. I just have to convince myself that I have actually done something today, which of course I have. Click here, you get that. Click here, you get that. And so you press play, and then you end up here. So the next thing to do would be set up character select to set up character select. I mean, we need to set up the UI first. So we'll be going into the character select screen, and we're going to change this completely. So how does this work? Because I think what happens, yeah, hero buttons transform, and then everything else disappears. Is that what happens? So we actually want, let's get character select up, there it is. Bring it to where we are to unpin this. And we say, God, this is a mess. Okay, yeah, so we're going to basically have to reprogram this entire script. Because we don't have unlocked enemy factions. Or no, we don't. We won't have unlocked enemy factions. There's a lot about this that's going to change. So that is going to be my next job, is to basically get this script correct, because currently it is not. I think job application rejection. Yeah, of course. Okay, and I think I'm going to do this after lunch because I'm just going to start it and be spinning my wheels. But can I get rolling with it? I mean, I'd be quite happy to just do this again from scratch. Let's do it visually first. So the play button. So again, just bringing up my UI design here. So we have the back buttons there. Root transform. Yeah, see, we're not actually going to leave here. Or I guess we could leave here in order to change stage. Because we're not going to have all the stage buttons here. Like clicking a button here to change stage. So select stage. Where even is that? Hero panel, enemy panel. Yeah, see, that's... I think I probably should just start this from scratch. What I'll do is I'll make a copy of this scene, just in case I want to keep anything. But really I'm going to say... Stage, yeah, root transform. Enemy panel. Hero panel, enemy panel. Yep, that makes sense. Stage description text, like no. Enemy faction panel, no, that's no longer a thing. So allied faction panel, no longer a thing. We have our this is no longer a button. So hero upgrades transform is still a thing. But we don't actually need the information. So hero upgrade display is no longer relevant, or at least it's just the image for now. And then where's this selected hero button? See, that's no longer a button. That's just going to be an image. Select hero text. Yeah, we're not going to have a description of the hero here. Panel header, no. Is it even a panel? Not really, no. So we'll take this out and get rid of hero panel. Selected stage button. Why is that a prefab? Difficulty panel, bottom left. Root transform, I don't think we need that. Okay, yep, so we select our difficulty down here. Our play button can be a bit smaller. I think 200 by 150 was good. Should we just copy it from... sometimes. Quite often, actually. Okay, why is that? Because it's still in the root transform. I think we're just going to get rid of that. Okay, pivot 1, 0. That feels a little bit awkward having to go all the way there to click that button, so we'll come back to that. Selected stage button, take it out of root transform, make it a bit smaller, we'll put it in the middle. I feel like this is awkward, the way that this button for stage select is at the top. So yeah, maybe this could be down here. The versus is fine. The question mark is for random, but that doesn't really say random, does it? What's the symbol, universal symbol for random? The dice. Oh yeah, the shuffle button. This one. Question mark's fine for now. And then so we would have a big old, and let's just put, no, not undead. Do we just have Sean? Can't remember what the ratio is exactly. It's 96 by... No. 64 by 96. I think that's right. And is there not a button to flip? Do we just have to do negative width? Oh God. Okay, so let's just make it one. Let's get it the right size. For God's sake. That's the number. So he's going to be all up here like our Tekken characters. Let's get the size right. Is that, can I not just, because you can do it with a sprite renderer, you just flip it. Well, this would be 0, I guess. Ish, no, 25, 30, 40. And he's there. And so he's going to be near the top. Hero buttons transform. Okay, so that's... Well, we can actually still use that. And then we're going to have... What's our hero button? And do I want to populate this list from code? I don't know. I don't know. So we would actually go through our list of heroes and just populate the list like that. Actually, this would be like... Yeah, I think it'll be easier just to arrange them manually. So this would be, let's make the start Randar. I haven't got a name for Beanie yet, and so we should, like, I want these numbers to be like exact. It's annoying that snapping doesn't work for UI elements. I don't see why that would be the case. Yeah, so then... And then I need to actually get my color for the for that faction. So maybe I should just populate it like I normally would, like just instantiate them, just to save me having to like manually change each one. But I think like the issue is if I have to change it. But actually, I don't think it would be too difficult. And I am going to, but I'm not going to bother changing the sprites or the names. Like that can happen in code for sure. We just go through each one and just say get that hero and make it the color of that character. So then we would take these. Let's collapse these. These would go down below. And then which ones are these? Do we do humans, orcs, undead, demons? Yeah, let's make these the undead ones. So, Basma, Felicity, oh, Darkshawn. Odd. I know, actually makes sense. So this would be 75. it's odd because it sort of implies that actually I don't know that's why I'm kind of looking at the Tekken characters. It sort of implies that these characters choose who's on the right and these characters choose who's on the left, but that's not the case. That's not the case. So then this would be Cruel, Dushita, Pick, Le, and then this would be Archie, Tisilef, Lucy. Like other demons have really normal names. Some Archie and Lucy, and this one Floater. That's not a normal name. Okay. And then if we were to add more characters, they would kind of sit on the sides like that. Okay. So yeah, it looks like a fighting game, which is I think a fun choice for this. And so if we've got hero, where's this dude? That's Sean. Okay, so hero image, and then I guess we could just nest it within that. We create UI image, and this is also 72 by 96, but smaller. And since his character is the soldier, where's soldier? Oh, in this case I did actually name them. Wait, why is this? Oh, because that's reversed. Oh god, no. Okay, let's not do it like that then. Let's just put them in the same thing, because that's going to get confusing. And I guess it would go behind him. And then there'd be like, so ally image, and I guess I would kind of like, ideally, like, I don't know if I have the time for this, but we'd have like them a little bit, you know, kind of like so then this is I'm really disappointed that Unity doesn't have like the flip. It can't just flip. Okay, so if that's 3, we would want like 2. Just like a bunch of dudes, although maybe it's not as fun as I visualized it. I mean, maybe it would actually be more fun. to actually just have it there. And I guess it would need to be on par with the scale of the hero. So yeah, 6. Because that is how big it will be in the scene. And do we prefer... Yeah, almost like the weapons are going to be like crossing each other. So like there is probably fine. So minus 25. Minus 160. 150, a little bit higher than it is. And if we just kind of keep this simple, just really hammering home and there'll be 4 of them, just to stick with the rule of 4. Obviously this is working terribly for... That's why I can never get like the consistent scale with screen size. So I'll need to sort that out, because what I want is for that to shrink. Reference 1920 by 1080. And then if I switch to... I'm still learning this shit. Like, I want it to just be wider if it's wide, but don't actually change anything else. That's what I want. But we'll get to that later. Let's get it working first. Versus feels off center. But I guess it's not. Doesn't that feel like that is... Do I just want to like manually, just maybe because that's a font thing. That feels more centered, even though perhaps it's not, technically. Let's make that a nice... And then so this hero upgrades transform maybe isn't necessary, because we can see he's got sword, soldiers, and dudes, so we don't need that like explicitly written down, right? And then the stage button, let's find a place for that. And then it really is time for me to go. What's a good place for that? Maybe up here? Yeah, here seems good. can't see what his talent is, but I would rather have like you can right click on it for more information. So here we have. So let's make. Is there like a quick and dirty way that I could just... Okay, that's not making any sense at all. Why is that? Now the versus doesn't look on center. Okay. Why is that? So yeah, let's just have the map to the center. Minus 150. 150. Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me. What have I done wrong? So these are in the middle. Okay, that makes more sense now. Versus in the middle. Why does this feel so wrong? Why, like, the hero buttons... Why does it feel like it should be there? 40 across. Why is that not just... Right? Like... Why does it feel like they're all just skewed a bit to one side? What am I missing? Doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, maybe we don't want scale with screen size. But did you have to? Okay, that's exactly what I want. So I'm not going to mess with that. Just a little bit of a tail behind the soldiers. So you can maybe imagine that there's more. Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted. Okay. Why do I feel like why is this off center? Because I feel like it's off center. Can I see like a grid or something? I've never really messed with this before, but I just want to see. Like, I just want to know where the center of the screen is. Because I just don't understand why everything is slightly off kilter. And I think it's the buttons. Unless it is the heroes. Because this is correct. Like, just a little nudge over here. So that the tip of his hair is kind of coming over the line there. 25. Like, why is... I don't understand. Okay, I'm not gonna... Because I do have to go. It's lunchtime. But... I mean, that looks nice to me. That's kind of what I want. So when you select, you'll like see what units you have, you'll see what weapon you have, and then maybe we could have one for like armor. So if this said for what talent they have, so then this would be like what's their talent? Is that tidy? And it would be nice if the background kind of matched the level. Okay, we've got difficulty down here. We can go back. We can press random. We choose our hero. Should just be like a line to the left. Thing. No. And then so yeah, mutations could go here. If we add more heroes, we'll add them there. It's like the placement of these could change, and we don't necessarily have to include the talent, and it would be nice. So we should make a little little empty transform of hero bonus transform. Yeah, why is that off center? Is it? Let's just say it's not off center. Let's trust the numbers. I feel like there's more. I'm actually just doing it with my hand because I can't find any. Yeah, it is bloody off center. Like, why though? Like, where is the X position changed? that would move it, right? Because this should be dead center. There is no other point at which... So there's Randar and there's Cruel. Wait, is that it? No, there's Jack and there's Cruel. Okay, no, which ones am I looking for? Am I just being a mega moron in this case? So Randar, Beanie, Rowan, Jack. And Jack is this one. No. Randar is this one. 1 minus 125, and Cruel is this one. Oh, it is just that. Yeah, it is just that. Okay, so this would be minus like 50. And then Cruel would be 50. So it would have to be 75. Randar is minus 75. So let's say 100 minus 100. That's minus 100. And Cruel is 100. Okay, so I am just a moron as usual. So I think each one needs to be plus 25. Yeah, so let's just copy that. I don't know if there's a better way to do this, because you can move it manually, but there's no snapping. There's no snapping for... Maybe there is. Okay, I've really got to go. I've got to go have lunch. But when I come back, I will be programming this. I'll be sorting out the script for this. Okay, yeah, so it's still plus 25. Okay. Got little annoying things like that that just eat time. Okay, so then yeah, we could have more heroes. We've got space for mutations and any other things we might add to the game. We could see the character, the units, the talents, and I'll make it so that if you right click on any of these, you get the information about it. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's our new screen. God, we're plowing through. I mean, again, it always feels like I'm not making progress because I'm sort of rolling back earlier decisions. That's always the feeling, but I am making progress. It is happening. All right. Cheers. All right, I'll be back at about 1 o'clock, maybe a bit later, because I'm having a late start for lunch. And I'll be programming this. So thanks for joining, anyone who joined.